Chapter 6. A few nights later, Ty stood on a chair next to me at the kitchen sink, proud to help with the dishes, but scooping suds off the top of the water and sticking them to her chin as if she had grown a foamy white beard. She giggled as if each time was the first time she'd thought of it. "Come on, Ty. Use those suds to clean the dishes. Here's your porridge bowl. You can clean that." I absentmindedly rinsed the washed dishes under the running faucet and handed them to Cammy, who said, "Slow down, I can't dry them all at once." "Oh, sorry." "When will Mother come home?" Ty asked. "I don't know. She went to get meat, but the line must be very long today." "And Father? He came home, didn't he?" I asked. I thought I'd heard the door open and shut a few minutes before, but wouldn't he have come to give us hugs? "I think he did," Cammy said. "You finished washing up, okay?" Father was in the living room, hat in his lap, staring at nothing. But he sat straight up, as if he expected to hear the sirens sound at any second now that it was dark out. He had purple circles under his eyes, and one of his eyelids twitched. "Father?" "Yes, Big?" He didn't look at me. "When do you sleep?" He hadn't been home in 3 nights. Even when we were all home, it wasn't easy to sleep. We were always waiting for the sirens, and our stomachs rumbled in the night because we were so hungry. "When will they stop bombing us?" I asked. He didn't answer. "I know what's happening," I said. "You may as well talk about it. They're going to flatten us like they did the Scaves." The many tiny kingdoms of the Scaves out east had been brutally taken by Tissia in the past 2 years. At school, we'd learned that the Tissians, who lived in the Rocky Mountains, wanted the fertile Scavian valleys. Then, the black flag of Tissia flew over these lands until it was replaced with the new orange and black stripes of the United Tissia and Arrowburn. Sopheren stood between Tissia and the sea, between Tissia and the great island nation Eileen. They probably wanted to sail out into the world, capture Eileen and her colonies. Father looked up, as if only just realizing that I was there. "Oh, I'm sorry, Big. I'm sorry. Come here." He drew me into a hug. "You think so too, then?" "You'll have to be strong through it, whatever comes." I nodded against his chest, his arms tight around me. But why hadn't he said, "We'll have to be strong, us together"? Wouldn't he be with me? It was suddenly hard to breathe, but I wanted his arms to hold me even tighter, and I couldn't squeeze back nearly enough. "If you have to go out tonight, can you stay home from the post office tomorrow?" "I would lose the day's pay." "But you're so tired." Mother came home. She went to the kitchen, kissed Cammy and Ty, and put the meat she'd managed to get into the oven. Then she came into the living room. "Is everything all right?" she asked. "Is anything all right?" I snapped. Normally, it wouldn't have been okay to snap at her, but there was no more normally. Mother just sat down, and Father let me go. "I've been wanting for the 3 of us to talk," she said. "In the winter, the stream out in the wood freezes, only on top. Sometimes I punch through the ice and run my fingers in the frigid water, the cold, beautifully fluid, but numbing. That icy water was running inside my ribcage and pooling in my stomach." "About what?" "The army test. What do you think?" she asked Father. He looked at both of us. Then he said carefully, "If they are screening the children, that means they aren't taking just anyone, which makes me think they aren't just going to throw them away. Maybe they'll train them to have a fighting chance. Mathilde knows the enemy may make it here. She knows we're sitting ducks. Maybe we should let her go." And for the first time in my life, Father was crying. Mother pressed her hand to her eyes. Was the tumbling feeling inside me the same one that made Megs tell her mother she would take the test? Maybe, if I got it, I looked at Father. "You would have money and you wouldn't have to worry about working days at the post office. You could stay home and rest." But my parents only cried harder. "It's not about the money," Father said. "No, of course not." Mother reached out to squeeze my hand, hers slippery with tears. "In fact, the money is part of what makes it so hard, because it puts a price on you." "Then why do you want me to go?" "I don't know that I do. I'm afraid for you to go. I'm afraid for us all to stay. Father said, I know that people say a family should stay together at a time like this, but I keep thinking that maybe the best chance for having at least some of the family make it is to be in different places. At least some of the family make it? The icy floods started in my chest again. Father thought we weren't all going to make it? That we were going to die? I searched my parents' faces to see if they really believed it, but they were looking at me, waiting for me to speak. How could I leave them? How could they send me away? I don't think I can pass it. I'd be the youngest, so I don't see... I had been going to say the harm in trying, but Mother jumped in as if she assumed I was about to say why I should try. Oh, no, honey. It'll be okay if you just don't. I just don't want you to miss your opportunity because we were afraid to try it. It could save you, Father said. It could kill me. Mother twisted her hands in her lap. Father had tears leaking out of his eyes. No one said that it wasn't true. Finally, Father said, they promised university educations. They wouldn't if they didn't expect the children to make it to them. It's an easier promise if they don't expect them to, Mother said so quietly it gave me chills. But you're right. Why would they select them so carefully, train them for something, and then throw them away? Her voice sounded like Meg's, reasonable, hoping, almost pleading. But Meg's had a chance to pass. She was closer to the older kids in her studies. I couldn't catch up in 2 weeks. But if agreeing to the test would give Mother and Father 2 weeks of hope, then it would be worth it. I got up and left the living room. When I returned, they were both staring at me. They probably thought I'd walked out because I was upset. But my eyes were dry, my hands steady, as I held out the form to Mother. You'll both need to sign it. Mother read it carefully, though she must have many times already. Probably Father had too. When you sign, though, I reminded them, it means if I pass, I have to do whatever they say. We decide now, not later. It felt like I was the adult, reminding them that choices can have consequences we can't even begin to understand. Father moved first, but slowly. He patted his pockets and took out a pen. He signed and passed the pen to Mother. She held it for a minute. Then she signed too. Father handed back the form to me. Mother stood, touched my head gently, and gave me a kiss. I'm going to go check on dinner. I nodded. Father followed her, leaving me staring at the document in my hands, at my parents' signatures giving away the rest of my childhood. Maybe my whole life. No matter. I folded the paper back up. End of chapter 6.